the title of my speech will be Lightweight Alloys. I am a metallurgist, so it will be not lightweight materials. But I want to focus our speech about the problem of the weight, first of all. The last century was the flight century, where the flight needed lightweights and power to have the possibility to fly. And the first lightweight materials were wood, were fabric, the very first lightweight materials. And after, with the increase of the weight to be transported, the materials was changed. And in the time, the change implied the use of steel, but also of aluminum alloys and other alloys that were weight with a very light weight. The problem is that only the reduction of density is not the answer to the problem of the lightweight alloy, because the more complex approach is necessary. So, decrease density, increase mechanical properties, or both. It is clear that here in this HB diagram, where we have UTS, ultimate tensile strength, density, this problem is complex because we can reduce absolutely the density, but we have as a result also reduce of these mechanical properties. And furthermore, we can see also that only UTS, only ultimate tensile strength, it's not enough. If we optimize only these mechanical properties, we have not a perfect material. We need also to optimize a lot of these mechanical properties. So, well, starting from periodic table of elements, we know that the more common material, base material is obviously iron. But iron is not light, that's clear, because its density is quite high, and we need also light materials. So usually the most used base material, base metals are titanium, magnesium, aluminium. And so it seems that only these three base metals should be considered as base metal for the lightweight alloys. But in this speech we will also talk about some steels, because in the last 30 years, it was clear, especially in the automotive industry, that a reduce of the weight of cars and so on could be obtained also increasing mechanical properties. So some classes of, some grades of steels were optimized in order to increase tensile strength, but also toughness, for example, obtaining a reducing of the weight, so a reduce of the size or a reduce of the weight of the cars. So this is a little slide with summarize of the four base metal, iron, titanium, aluminum, and magnesium, and we can see that pure metals, industrial pure metals, are characterized by very low mechanical properties. We can see that 200 and 250 megapascal for UTS, so it's really slow. It's really low. If we go to magnesium and aluminum, is also worse. So we need to increase mechanical properties. This is the answer of our conversation inside this slide. And the increase of mechanical properties could be obtained analyzing the strengthening mechanisms. To analyze strengthening mechanisms, we will analyze very shortly crystal lattice. We will summarize the basis of metallurgy. So we will talk about something about how to build up the crystal lattice, why the theoretical mechanical properties are not respected in the real effective material with lower mechanical properties, with effective lower mechanical properties. We'll summarize some strengthening mechanisms, and finally we will talk about some lightweight alloys, also considering some steels, some new steels, you can say. So, summarizing something about crystal lattice examples, there are 14 Bravais lattice, but the most common are obviously cubic face-centered, hexagonal, and cubic body-centered. How to obtain these lattice? Well, we can consider a superposition of atomic planes. And for example, for the cubic face-centered, we can obtain the lattice considering the base cell. For the hexagonal, we can see the different superposition of maximum density planes of atoms, and obtaining as a consequence the hexagonal lattice. And finally, the cubic body centered start from a different distribution of of the planes, of the atomic planes with a lower density, obtaining the cubic body-centered lattice. Well, if we consider the theoretical distribution of atoms inside the space, we can say that the shear, the theoretical critical shear stress is about 10 gigapascal. Everybody knows that it is not real, it is not effective. If you have a material, effective material, real material, we have 2 up to 4 orders lower as mechanical properties and UTS. Why? Because metals are full of defects. For example, point defects. We can see here some vacancies, interstitials, substitution atoms, and the presence of these defects implies a distortion of the lattice. So this distortion can interact with the main, perhaps, defects inside a lattice that are dislocations. Dislocations could be classified as edge dislocation, screw dislocation. The most common are mixed dislocation usually. And we can see that stressed dislocation can move and multiply. That means that these defects can increase their importance during the deformation, both implying a movement of this dislocation, and so a macroscopical deformation of the metals corresponding to lower stress, applied stress, but also, and we can see here in this is not an animation, this is a real Frank Reed source, we can see the multiplication activity inside, not too much perhaps, but you can see here Frank Reed source. Well, what does it mean? And it means that during stress applied on the metal, we have a multiplication, a strong multiplication, 2 orders, 3 orders as a density of dislocation. For example, this dislocation stimulation, we can see the network that we obtain inside as a metal. It's really confusing because you can see almost nothing now, because the density of dislocation is absolutely really high. And so this multiplication implies what? Well, the dislocation is on the basis of the decrease of the effective mechanical property of steel and aluminum alloy, etc., due to its presence inside of the metal. But increasing of their density, we can obtain an increase of the mechanical property due to the interaction between dislocation inside our lattice. So the dislocation can also interact with the particles and precipitates. With the Orman mechanism, the dislocation bends between the particles, leaving a dislocation ring around the particle. It implies that the distance between particles decreases during the deformation, and the energy needed to avoid particles increases. So you need more and more stress to deform your steel, your alloy. And it is quite important because the defect that is on the basis of the decrease of their theoretical mechanical property at the end could be considered as a possibility to strengthen your metals. So it is quite important. Obviously, we have also surface defects like grain boundaries, like the surface of the material. The surface of material, the material surface has a different effect on the mechanical properties due to the interaction between obviously the material and the environment. We can focus on grain boundaries. Well, we can see that grain boundaries are an interesting an interesting block in the department. Okay, I lose the slide. Well, grain boundaries can stop with a good efficiency the dislocation, and so the higher is the density of grain boundaries, the lower is the mean dimension of the grain, the higher is the stress that is needed to deform your steel, your alloy. So we can see that if we have this distribution of grains inside the metal, we can, during deformation, deform also the shape of the grains, but with a heat treatment we can also recrystallize the alloy, obtaining also a growth of the mean dimension. So during heat treatment, without phase transformation, you can obtain modification of the mechanical property, modification of mechanical behavior due to the modification, the simple modification of the mean value of the radius, for example, for our alloy. Finally, 3D defects, Maker and Mavrovoids, no metal inclusion. The scale is completely different because now we are talking about also of macrovoids with 1 millimeter and more as dimension, as a mean dimension. So it means that they are whole inside your structure. It means that you can have a stress intensity factor that starts inside your metals, and so this type of defects implies only a decrease of the mechanical properties of your alloy. Well, after the analysis of lattice defects, we can summarize some strengthening mechanism. We can classify them as two different types. Strengthening mechanism where you need only one phase, and strengthening mechanism where you need two or more phases. The first type is obviously solid solution hardening. When you have an alloy, you have host alloy and impure alloy, the alloyed elements. And these alloys, these atoms have different dimensions. Different dimension implies, let's see here, for example, this interaction with this location, or here with smaller or bigger atoms, imply deformation of the lattice. This deformation can interact with the deformation generated from the dislocation, so we have a problem for the dislocation in this slip, in this movement. So the higher is the difference between the host and the impurity, and the higher is the amount of impurity inside the metal, the higher is the effect inside our metals. Obviously, you can grow with the concentration no matter how much, but you have a maximum effect corresponding to an intermediate composition. Well, another mechanism is connected to the grain size, and we can see here the effect of it. We have here two grains, the blue and the red, and only some dislocations are able to pass from one grain to the other, so grain boundaries are able to stop dislocation. So we need low dimension of the grain size, and so we can perform some heat treatments with the goal of reduce our grain size. We have also some empirical or semi-empirical relationship where we can see that an increase of the yield strength can be obtained with the decrease of the mean value of the radius of our grain size, whole batch relationship. Also, strain hardening, also called as cold working, has a good effect on mechanical properties, because we can increase the density of dislocation due to the Frank-Reed mechanism, for example. And for example, here we can see that the cold working implies a modification, strong modification of the stress-strain curve from this one with a very great, very large ductility, but low UTS and YS values. With cold working, we can obtain an increase, a strong increase of yield strength and metal strength, but with a reducing of ductility. So we have to find a compromise between the different mechanical properties, obviously. The other two mechanisms require a second phase. You can put this second phase inside as a form as a particulars weak scarcity. This is the case of metal matrix composites, where you put inside your alloy something strange inside. Obviously, you must respect some morphological conditions, so you need round particles, very little round particles. You don't need to have some intensity factor inside that start and decrease mechanical property. And considering the mechanism of precipitation hardening, very important in aluminum alloys, in some steels, very important in titanium alloys, but also in magnesium alloys, you can precipitate very little particles inside your alloy, obtaining a good block, a good stop for dislocation. You can see here a dislocation two different types of particles, very little and near, or large and far. Obviously, it's better very little and near in order to better stop the slip of a dislocation during stress. Well, obviously, in order to obtain these results, we need a precise condition for the heat treatment. We can call it, obviously, solution treatment and precipitation hardening. Precipitation hardening that could be obtained both at heat temperature with an heat treatment. It means an artificial aging, but also with some alloys at room temperature with a natural aging. So, considering steels, it is quite strange, but also steels could be considered sometimes as lightweight alloys, especially in the automotive industry. Well, conventional high-strength steel are more or less these ones. We'll not talk about them, because we focus our attention to the first generation and second generation advanced high-strength steel. This steel where the goal of this steel is the increase of the mechanical properties in the first generation with the decrease of the ductility, and it is not good, obviously, because you can't build up a car with glass. We have a high value of the ultimate tensile strength, but very low ductility. You need also ductility, and the second generation will offer you also a good ductility. There is also, somebody talks also about a third generation of advanced high-strength steel. It is more or less between the first and the second generation, but they are not, it is not so evident just now. So, in order to optimize steels that could be considered also as lightweight steels, because allow, due to their mechanical properties, allow a decrease of the weight, because the performance are higher than conventional high-strength steels. We can talk about dual-phase or complex-phase steels. We can see here, for example, for dual-phase the microstructure, it means a matrix with of ferrite and some particles of martensite. But this is exactly the microstructure that allows us to increase mechanical properties. If you have seen before in the slide before, no, okay. We talk about some morphological needs to obtain an increase of the mechanical properties. One of these was a ductile matrix with a hard second phase. But it is exactly the situation we have in the dual phase or in complex phase. We have a ductile matrix with the hard particle inside. We have also in the first generation of advanced high-strength steel, trip steels. It means transformation, use plasticity steels. In this case, we have that retained austenite during deformation transforms in martensite. It means that we have an increase of the mechanical properties during the deformation. It's quite important. The microstructure that is obtained after the stress is more complicated than before. We have always a ductile matrix, but the particles inside are little. The microstructure is finer than before. In fact, we can see, if we compare the dual-phase steel with the trip steel, the ductility is larger, and also UTS value are a little higher than before. Also interesting are martensite steel, where we can have value, UTS value higher than 1,600 megapascal, but with lower ductility value. So we are always in the first generation. We can see here we have very low ductility value. It is useful for certain applications, but you can't use it for all the needs you have, for example, in the automotive industry. Mechanical properties could be better if you have some addition of manganese, silicon, chromium, molybdenum, boron, vanadium, and nickel used in various combinations, but the ductility is always low. An increase of the mechanical properties with an increase of ductility could be obtained with the second generation lightweight alloys, the second generation advanced high-strength steels, The first group, the first grades are lip steel, lightweight steels with induced plasticity. Also in this case we have a ductile matrix. It is really important to underline that we have up to 12% of aluminium. So you know that aluminium is characterized by lower value of density, so we have a decrease of the density of the steel, a strong decrease of the density of the steel. Also silicon is up to 6% with very interesting performance of these steels. But more interesting I think that are twisted steels. Twisted steels contains up to 20% of manganese, and the mechanical properties are really interesting because the strengthening mechanism is, we haven't seen up to now. It is based on the twinning effect. It means that during the deformation inside the austenite you create some final microstructure. We can see here a very interesting view. You can see, for example, in yellow a grain, austenite grain, and the generation of twins inside. So these locations find more, and during the deformation, these locations find more and more difficulties to move because they find more and more twins inside the austenite. And the results is very interesting UTS value, similar to martensite, martensitic steels, but with very interesting ductility, up to 50% and more. One of the typical chemical compositions we find here, where we can find high value of manganese inside. Well, talking about aluminum alloys, we can see that we have different series depending on the main alloy element, starting from copper, manganese, silicon, etc. Some of these alloy elements implies an increase of the density, so an increase of the weight of your alloy. Some of them imply a decrease. For example, we have sometimes we have lithium used as an alloy element. Lithium is lighter than aluminium, so you have a decrease of the density of your alloy. These alloys are characterized by similar phase diagrams near 100% of aluminium. We can see here, for example, the example of aluminium cobalt. Near aluminium, you have a higher solubility corresponding to the eutectic temperature, and a strong decrease of the solubility up to almost zero at room temperature. It implies that we can apply a peculiar heat treatment. We can have a scheme here of the. You can have your alloy after solidification, where you can control exactly the microstructure. You can have the presence of particles, coarse particles inside. But with the solution treatment, you can obtain at high temperature, higher than the solubility curve. For example, here you can have in an alloy solid solution of, for example, copper and aluminium. If you quench this alloy, for example in water, you can obtain a supersaturated alloy with copper inside a cupric-centered aluminium with the concentration that is really higher than the equilibrium concentration. For example, this one instead of this one. Well, you can wait 2-3 months in a room, or this is a natural aging, or you can put it inside an oven and have an artificial aging, obtaining the precipitation of very fine particles, of theta fine particles, theta prime, theta second particles. You can see that there are very little particles and very well distributed inside your structure, obtaining an increase of the mechanical properties because you have always a ductile matrix with very little fine particles inside this ductile matrix. And so you have the strengthening mechanism that we've seen before, very important. And so if you optimize time and temperature, you can obtain the maximum in UTS and the tensile strength and utility. Obtaining different distribution of phases inside this ductile matrix. We can see an example here, or other example here for the alloy 8090, where you can obtain different types of particles with a different distribution depending on the chemical composition. This is the reason why the chemical composition of aluminum alloys are very peculiar, with little amount of many elements inside, because you need a lot of different particles distributed in all the microstructure. We have here some examples of some aluminum alloys with some condition for the heat treatment and different tensile strength or yield strength you can obtain. For example, in 1775, that is used in aircraft structure, you can obtain up to almost 600 megapascal. It's quite important because you have also a strong decrease of the density thanks to the metal, base metal that is aluminum. You have to remember that it is important, the chemical composition, but it's really important to consider the thermomechanical treatment that you use on your alloy. So when you designate aluminum alloy, you need to put both the series 2024, etc., but also this designation based on H or T, especially T, because with T1, T3, etc., you can define exactly the heat treatment condition you use on your alloy. Titanium alloy, well, they are quite interesting because titanium alloys, titanium is find a large use in it's clear that it's not a Boeing 777, this is an aircraft, a Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. The mechanical properties of this base metal are really interesting, but it's also really interesting the corrosion resistance of the pure titanium, so you can use it for coatings, for example. But consider mechanical properties, they are really interesting because they are not so far. For example, the Young module is 110 gigapascal, not so far from steel. Its resistance is quite good also at high temperature. We must remember, for example, aluminum has a melting point at 770 degrees, so it's quite low. You can't use aluminum at high temperature, both considering the melting temperature, both considering that the maximum heat treatment condition are 200 degrees, not more. So aluminum alloys has a problem for high temperature. Titanium alloys, this problem is absolutely reduced. So we must remember that titanium alloys, pure titanium is characterized by two different phases, an alpha phase hexagonal and a beta phase body center cubic. The alloying elements could modify the stabilization of alpha or beta, obtaining stabilization of alpha with aluminum, oxygen, etc., and beta with hydrogen, molybdenum, etc. But also we can produce some particles due after heat treatment. So we can modify the microstructure of titanium alloy, playing both with heat treatment and with chemical composition. We can see here all the different microstructure we can obtain with the most common titanium alloy, the titanium 6 aluminum 4 vanadium. It is most common, most used titanium alloys. So we can see that the modification of the heat treatment implies a strong modification of the microstructure. It means the strong modification of the mechanical properties that the alloy can offer you. And so we can heat treat the titanium and titanium alloys in order to reduce residual stress developed during fabrication. We can anneal our alloy in order to produce an optimal combination of utility, machinability, dimensional stability, and it means that we can perform annealing, duplex annealing, recrystallization annealing, beta annealing. There are a lot of different mechanical properties that you can optimize, and a lot of different heat treatment you can perform. And also you can perform a solution treating and aging of your alloys. here we can see, for example, well, some chemical composition with some heat treatment conditions, but very interesting is how it changes the microstructure for the same temperature, for the same heat temperature, with the time you wait at this temperature. So you can see that the modification is really strong, and also considering the mechanical property, you can have a maximum for different times. So the connection between the mechanical property and the microstructure is really strong. Well, finally, magnesium alloy. Well, magnesium alloy were used since 1935. In Volkswagen they use magnesium in model, I don't remember exactly which one, but up to 40 kilos for each car. So magnesium alloys were used also a lot of years ago, but they have some problems. It is obviously the lightest material, so all the alloy elements increase the density of this. It's quite strange. If you use aluminium with the magnesium, you have an increase of the density of this metal. It is used now in structural and non-structural application. They are used also in aircraft and missile components, and has good vibration and damping characteristics. You can use, as for the titanium alloy and aluminum alloy, you can solution treat and age also these alloys, and you can obtain different phases inside your alloy depending on the heat treatment you use on your alloy. So the modification of the mechanical properties depending on the heat treatment can follow. For example, we can see depending on the temperature of the aging activity, you can obtain different stress strain curve, but it is obvious that the values, they are not so high. So you strongly reduce the density, but you must consider that the performance are not so high. You don't have titanium alloy that you can obtain, where you can obtain 1,500 megapascal. Here the maximum is 200, 205, 300, not that. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation.